So, what is a model minority athlete, and how are they being portrayed in our media? The model minority, in terms of my topic today, pertains to the case of an underrepresented community in a white-dominated sport being viewed solely on how the minority in the sport behaves. But who am I to be covering this, right? Fair question. Up until very recently, I've been playing sports pretty much all of my life, and during those 13 or so years, I've learned something very important. Sports are very white. Okay, maybe not really. However, the less accessible sports are. And in general, minorities have to work twice as hard in order to be seen as half as good as their white counterpart.
Twice as good.
Twice as good as them to get half of what they have.
And children of color don't see themselves in those stupid expensive sports like horseback riding or lacrosse. So when there are athletes that look like them, it's not only up to the athletes to make a good impression, it's up to the media. ESPN, SportsCenter, reporters, Hollywood, etc., etc. It is extremely important for all media to accurately and carefully portray the external and internal struggles that minority athletes face in order for changes to start occurring. Media is a bridge between communities. It informs and connects us all. So as a primary informer, it is imperative that the struggles that minority athletes go through are conveyed in a serious and complex manner so more people can understand that sports needs to grow and become more inclusive. So, how is the media portraying the model minority athlete?
Hi, I'm Layla Edwards.
The newest instance of this lifestyle is no other than Layla Edwards. This is Layla Edwards. She's a 22-year-old college student, born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, who currently plays collegiate for the University of Wisconsin. This winter, Layla became the first black woman to make the USA Olympic hockey roster, making her one of 4 black players to play for an Olympic hockey team. Ever. Edwards is the product of a new era of athletes, and her rise to stardom was met with an overwhelming amount of support, with articles upon articles praising her talent and viewing her as the star that she is. And I know what you're saying. Dude, ain't that a good thing? What's the point of this video? The point is, while we might be discussing what a model minority athlete is and how they're represented in our media, it is also important to see the impact that representation is making. And Edwards has been very vocal on that point. Edwards and her family understand how much visibility matters. They know that a young black girl or a child of color might see Layla on TV during the Olympics, playing in games, appearing in commercials, or even being interviewed in some studio, and suddenly they view hockey in a different way. They envision stepping into a world where they didn't previously think that they could because they'd never seen themselves there. They didn't think that they were allowed. They didn't think that they could. And as Edwards says herself, I've met parents who have told me that their kids started playing because of me, or that their kid still plays because of me. I've had kids say, "You're my favorite player, you look just like me." And I think that's so important to have someone at high stage who looks just like you. And I think it's even more important that I can succeed at this high stage. But while we're talking about the minority athlete, it's important not just to talk about SportsCenter or articles written by ESPN. We gotta talk about Hollywood too.
Shane Hollander.
There's no better current portrayal of the overwhelming pressure to outperform and represent for your community than my GOAT, Shane Hollander, from the Crave original Heater rivalry. Shane Hollander occupies a space where difference is present but tightly contained, where deviation is not overtly punished but is quietly discouraged. He functions as a cultural figure who faces a stereotype threat, being the model minority, and his behaviors within the show reflect patterns shown within the real-world sports setting. Hollander is the only Asian Canadian hockey player in the entire National Hockey League. And from the very beginning of the show, the audience is made aware of the isolation this brings through scenes like this.
Oh, and just to be clear, we are thrilled that Shane is Asian or Asian Canadian. Very thrilled. I mean, we've historically broken barriers, and we're doing it again, so nothing to worry about there.
But to be fair, the league didn't directly put a lot of pressure on Shane to be the perfect role model. His mother did.
And remember what else this means.
I remember.
A whole lot of kids are going to be looking up to you. Kids that don't see themselves here a lot.
I get it, Mom.
And the impact of said pressure is shown through how differently the two main characters of the show are allowed to act. While his white rival, Ilya Rosenthal, Hollander, an Asian Canadian, is extremely attentive in the way that he speaks or reacts. His confidence is contained and his behavior suggests an ongoing awareness of how easily actions can be misinterpreted. is a confident, conceited trash talker who is beloved by the media for his fiery personality and quickness to start a fight. Their two approaches to their public image aligns with the findings that radicalized professionals often adopt strategies of self-regulation to reduce the likelihood of being read through stereotypes rather than individuality. However, not every Hollywood depiction of the model minority depicts them as poised and calm with an overbearing sense of representing their race.
Tashi Duncan!
Luca Guadagnino's 2024 film Challengers features Tashi Duncan, a black tennis prodigy whose blind ambition led her to success in both the tennis world and also the economic world. The role race plays in her story is not explicitly apparent, however, according to Zendaya, the actress who plays her,
for me, for her, tennis, her relationship to it and why she is so passionate about it is because of her access to it.
Unlike Shane, Tashi's relationship to her race stems from her upbringing rather than a constant external pressure. She doesn't come from the same privileged background as the two white boys. Tashi's passionate about tennis because of her access to it. She doesn't have the luxury of boarding schools or money. Even when not purposely writing racial struggles into a character, they still appear, because when a minority is in a white-dominated sport, everything's a racial struggle. Challengers was based off the 2018 US Open finale between Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams. Screenwriter Justin Kurzaki stated that he admired the match's cinematic quality, and that the controversial call penalized towards Williams had helped create a realistic narrative for the film. Williams was booed during that game, and the media ridiculed her for her outbursts on the court. So, this movie wouldn't have been made if it wasn't for
Serena Williams.
When discussing the portrayal of minority athletes in white-dominated sports, you must understand the prime example. Serena Williams, the poster child of this, if you would. Williams is a household name. She is known for trailblazing and dominating within the tennis world, and looking fashionable while doing so. However, as a black woman, she faces both extreme racist and misogynistic abuse from fans as well as media outlets. According to sports media, stadiums would be filmed with predominantly white audiences hurling racial slurs and booing Williams. Williams herself went on record stating, "When Venus and I were walking down the stairs to our seats, people kept calling me blank. One guy said, 'I wish it was 75, we'd skin you alive.' That's when I stopped and walked towards that way. And then I realized that my best bet was to handle the situation non-violently." And the few times Williams has verbalized her discontent of the mistreatment during games, she was quickly villainized and turned into a caricature. After the US Open final, this cartoon by Mark Knight went viral. Not only was Williams depicted as a masculine mammy archetype, Osaka was completely whitewashed, further pushing the aggressive black player versus the calm white player narrative. This scrutinization of the actions and reactions to Williams is a core example on how the model minority myth has come to be. An athlete of color gets deemed as the spokesperson for the entire race they come from. So they become the role model who can't mess up due to being the sole representation for pretty much everyone in their community. Athletes play because they love the sport, not because they want to represent an entire population of people. So go out there, support these players, and give them grace because, frankly, they've got a long way to play.